Hi everyone, today I'll be talking about why it's more advantageous to register a limited liability company over a business name. Now let me explain this new tax system in a way that everyone, including those who have never studied business or tax before, can completely understand. So for many years in Nigeria, most people believed that registering a limited liability company was a heavy burden. They thought it was too expensive. They thought the process was too stressful and very complicated. People imagined that the government would come with huge tax bills that would drain all their profits. Because of this fear, most traders, business owners ran to register a business instead of a company. They registered their business as a business name instead of a company. Now, a business name felt easier, simpler, cheaper, and it felt like it was the safest option at the time. And you could just go register it, get your certificates for a small fee, and start operating. However, the Nigerian government has completely changed the rules now. The rules are very different now. And today, in this current system we are operating, registering a limited liability company is actually cheaper in terms of tax, and it's a smarter option for your business growth. It also comes with far more benefits than registering a business name. Now, I know this sounds very surprising, like quite very surprising, but you have to believe it. When you register a limited liability company in Nigeria, the government has a specific way of looking at your business. And the first thing they do is to check how much money your company is making in total throughout the year. Now, this total amount of money coming into your business yearly is called your annual turnover or revenue. It's not your profits yet. It's just all the money collected from selling your products or services before removing any expenses or deductions. Now, if your company is still small, the government has made a very clear policy that you will be tax exempt. You will not be taxed. They give you room to go first. In other words, if your company makes less than a whole year, you pay absolutely nothing on tax. You pay absolutely zero naira, not one kobo. Now, let me repeat this because it's very important and many people don't really believe it when they first hear it. So I'm going to repeat myself. If you register a limited liability company and your total turnover for the year is below, your company does not pay company income tax at all. This is not tax avoidance. This is exactly what the law says clearly. Small companies below this threshold are completely tax exempt from company income tax. So imagine the scenario, all right? Somebody is running from a proper registration, company registration. Maybe they're making 5 million naira in a year. Now, despite making all this money and running profitable businesses, they are not paying company income tax at all because they are still below threshold. Already, just from this one point alone, you can see the massive difference between a company and having a business name. Now, the second major advantage is that companies can remove expenses before tax. This is a very huge advantage companies have over business names. So for companies, the law allows them to remove many of their legitimate business expenses before calculating what tax they should pay. It's clear, it's simple. Here's how it works. Let's say your company makes 10 million naira in total revenue throughout the year. But during that same year, you spent money running the business. Maybe you bought a laptop for 500,000 naira to handle your work. You bought a printer for 100,000 naira. You bought, a delivery motorcycle for 700,000 naira. So you could deliver products to customers. Let's say you paid rent for your office space, right? Which was 600,000 naira for the year. And then you paid your staff salaries. totaling 2 million naira. You contributed to your employees' pension accounts. Take note of what I'm saying. Pension, rent, printer, these facilities. Pension, 300,000 naira. Then you spent your money. You spend money improving your product or developing new ones. Maybe 500,000 naira on research and development. And then you donated 200,000 naira to a charity organization. Now, all of these expenses, every single one of them, the law allows your company to subtract them from your revenue before calculating how much profit you made. So instead of saying your company made 10 million naira and you should pay tax on 10 million naira, the government says no. First, remove all your genuine business expenses. Genuine business expenses. So important because I know so many persons will be ready to abuse this clause. So after removing all those genuine business expenses, your actual profits is only what? 4 million naira. So you only pay tax on 4 million naira. You pay zero tax anyway. The key point is this. The more a company spends on genuinely growing the business, buying equipment, employing people, improving products, the less tax it pays. Because the tax is calculated only on whatever profit remains after removing all those necessary business expenses. Now, this kind of system actually encourages businesses to invest in growth, buy better equipment, hire more people, and improve their operations. Because doing all these things reduces your tax burden legally. Now, let's look at what happens where you register a business name instead. When you have a business name, the government does not see it as a separate entity. Remember, a business name is just you trading under a different name. So legally, the business name and you personally are the same thing. There is no separation. And because of this, all the money your business name makes is treated as your personal income. It doesn't matter if you made 2 million naira or 10 million naira or even 20 million naira, the tax officer expects you to pay personal income tax on everything. The government expects you to be taxed on everything. Everything the business makes. And now, here is where it differs when it's a company. There is no exemption for small businesses operating under a business name, right? They don't say, oh, you are small, so we won't tax you yet. No, they tax everything you make. So even if your business name makes just 5 million naira in a year, you still have to pay personal income tax on it. Even if you made exactly the same amount as that company owner we talked about earlier, you are paying tax while the company owner is paying nothing.